A former Thai Navy SEAL has died while working to rescue the 12 boys and their football coach trapped underground for over 13 days now. Samarn Kunan ran out of oxygen in the early hours of the morning while attempting to return to the command center. He was 38 years old. Now, he'd been placing air tanks along a potential exit route in the network of the caves. A huge international operation has been underway for weeks with dozens of Thai Navy SEALs and international experts on site. Well, they face numerous challenges, notably helping the team negotiate those murky floodwaters in a weakened mental and physical state. Hundreds of thousands of liters of water are being pumped out of the cave each hour. But a forecast of heavy rains this weekend, this could further complicate rescue efforts. Now, who exactly was this Thai diver? Our team in the Cube, they've been digging into the background of this man. Alex, tell us more.
Morning, Tessa. Yeah, breaking news this morning. We're getting details through about who exactly this man was. Many people calling him a hero. Now, he died trying to bring oxygen tanks into the cave system. Let's just show a picture that's shared by a Thai news outlet. So basically, this Thai diver, the Thai news channel saying that during this press conference, they said the diver, they confirmed he was a SEAL unit officer and died during the rescue operation. Now, the diver himself pictured here. Now, we know that he fell unconscious trying to bring these oxygen tanks into the cave. His partner tried to revive him, but was unable to. Now, this morning, a lot of the posts that he himself has been sharing on Instagram were public. He was documenting his time spent there as part of this rescue operation, including this one from July the 4th, showing himself with the rest of the rescue team. So he was being very public about his support and throwing himself into this rescue operation. We now have been finding, a lot of tributes online from people who know him and sort of geotagging these posts. I think that's a crucial point to make here. Obviously, one thing to have the Instagram post, but we here in the Cube, euronews' social media news desk, have been making sure that posts are coming from the right place. Obviously, a lot of pictures in a breaking news story like this are shared around without being from the right place. We can confidently say these pictures are geotagged to the location and the account we have verified as well with the name given by authorities showing the diver. But as we have here, the last picture he shared on Instagram, a public show of support showing him alongside that rescue team. Just one last one I want to show you very quickly. We have a Facebook just dropped in for us now. I think it's not quite appeared, but we will bring you more as we have it. Tessa.
All right, thank you for that tragic story, Alex and the Cube team. Now, our NBC correspondent Janice Lackey, she is on the ground in Chiang Rai, and she's joining me now live. Janice, hi there. Tragic news this morning, clearly. What can you tell us from the ground there?
Well, it is tragic news that we were made aware of this morning, and it really is a reminder, Tessa, of the danger and the risks in this operation and the sort of decisions that are being made, the risks that are being calculated by the Thai officials who need to make the decision on how and when they're going to bring the boys and their coach out. They have been pumping water out of this cave system 24/7 for the past week. They've made some progress. Millions of gallons of water have come out. They believe that about a third of the journey that the boys would have to make, it's roughly 3 miles, and they think that a good third of it is now walkable. What they're trying to do is to decrease the water level in the parts of the cave that are the most risky. This, of course, are the tight, twisting passageways where the boys would have to scuba dive with assistance, but nonetheless a very scary proposition for these kids who don't know how to swim. Tessa?
Indeed, Janice, just looking at these images, it looks terrifying inside. And we'd like to know more about how the boys are doing. I know that they've been trying to get fiber optic cables into the cave so that they can talk to their families. Has this happened? Have they had contact with their families?
They've made a couple of attempts to get communication lines, at first a phone line, then an internet line, so that the boys and the families could be connected so that it would buoy their morale. They've been trying to train the boys to breathe in a full face mask so that they can make this very treacherous journey to the cave entrance. Their spirits seem to be good in the videos that we've seen coming out. The Thai medics have been in there for the past few days, caring for them, keeping them company, talking them through this, telling them that the whole world is watching them and that they're so strong and that they're so brave. The concern, of course, is that not all of them are in great shape. There's a few kids that are believed to be too weak to make this sort of escape. The coach is also apparently malnourished and not in the best of health. So this is the concern. The governor had been saying over the past couple of days that it was not likely that they were going to bring all of them out at the same time, that they were going to have to go one by one, and they were still deciding what the best order of evacuation is. Do they take the strongest out first, the youngest, the weakest? So these are all of the decisions that are being weighed here today. Of course, with this huge threat looming of the monsoon rains that are set to hit probably around Sunday. The conditions are never going to be better than what they are right now. The weather has been clear, the water has been pumping out, but as soon as the rains hit, they know that window of opportunity is going to close. Tessa?
Yes, indeed, Janice. And this news of the diver's death just highlights how dangerous this mission is. Thank you very much, Janice Lackey on the ground there in Chiang Rai. Now, despite today's tragedy, rescuers must continue to work to bring the boys safely out of the cave. And as Janice was saying, with heavy rains forecast, it's a race against the clock. NBC News' chief global correspondent Bill Neely has this story.
The world is watching them, but they want out. A dozen boys with brave faces, their rescuers with one huge problem: floodwater. Divers struggling to fight it, the boys still too weak to cross it. They can't swim, and it's 6 hours to the cave entrance. They're getting a crash course on diving, but the risks are deadly. The narrow passageways a trap, even for the experts.
It's quite challenging, obviously. There's zero visibility, it's a confined space, so it's a challenge.
Rescuers are drilling and digging, and it's desperate, because it's a race against time, getting rid of water before the monsoon rains fill the caves again.
They are pumping millions of gallons of water out of the caves every day. Meanwhile, up on the hills, up to 30 teams are looking for holes or shafts they could use to winch the boys out.
With no rain for 3 days, commanders are now tempted to try a fast rescue. They said they needed 100% certainty there were no risks. If there's 90% safety, says the governor, we're ready to bring the boys out. 2 of them had birthdays this week. No celebrations here, just preparations for a rescue that can't come soon enough.
Back to our breaking news story today. A diver has died while working on safely rescuing 12 boys and their football coach who have been trapped in a Thai cave for over 13 days now. Former Thai Navy SEAL Samarn Kunan ran out of oxygen in the early hours of the morning while attempting to return to the command center. He was 38 and he'd been placing air tanks along a potential exit route in the network of caves. A huge international operation has been underway for weeks with dozens of Thai Navy SEALs and international experts on site. Well, they face numerous challenges, notably helping the team negotiate murky floodwaters in a weakened mental and physical state. Hundreds of thousands of liters of water are being pumped out of the caves each hour. But a forecast of heavy rains this weekend could further complicate rescue efforts. And joining me now live from Thailand is a diving instructor, Christelle Goldstein. Christelle, you're well aware of the obstacles involved in diving. What are some of the common issues that divers and young people, as young as the boys in the cave, might face during a rescue?
Well, this diving in a cave is not like regular diving in the ocean. It's very difficult and very dangerous. People are in small spaces and dark water, and they don't have any surface to ascend to. So usually there should only be trained people doing that. Of course, these boys are not. So.
What are the chances of being able to teach young boys like that very quickly?
Teaching them how to dive quickly would not be possible, but teaching them the basics and listening to the guys bringing them out should be possible as long as they can remain calm and don't panic.
Yeah, I think that is the main thing. And, you know, one of the main differences that people, when they think of diving, they think of open ocean diving. But you're saying that cave diving is very different. Can you tell us the difference?
Yes, the main difference is that they are diving in a confined space. They So they have really poor communication with the other divers because they can't see each other. They're diving in zero visibility. I mean, it's like diving without seeing anything, just feeling where you're going. They have to follow the sides, or in this case, there's ropes already, which the professional divers put there. Also, their air supply, they're limited in air supply. So when they're going through a tunnel, they must have enough air to go the space or the time they need to go through.
And
It's
Christelle,
all quite delicate compared to open sea.
yeah, and you have worked with a lot of beginners, I suppose. Mentally, what kind of state should they be in? I mean, can you walk us through how beginners what state they would be in?
Yes, well, as I say, the main thing would be to remain calm. Even people learning how to dive in open sea will often panic or get scared because you're breathing through a machine, which is in your mouth. It feels like you're breathing. It's limited, even though it's not. And the boys would have to go through a very small space, dark space. They would really have to control themselves. Then again, they've proven in the cave they're quite smart and quite brave, so they might be able to do this. Probably best would be to try and sedate them a little bit so they can just follow their guides and get through.
Yeah.
The thing is, if people panic, they put other divers in danger as well because they'll try to grab people and they'll try anything to get out of that cave. So it's quite dangerous for the boy and for the rescuers.